This is our town, the place we call home.
Welcome to This Is Our Town with Jeff Yorkie, a local public affairs presentation on MonroeCountyRadio.com.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to This Is Our Town. I am Jeff Yorkie, and in our town today, we're going to talk a little bit of martial arts today. And no one better to talk martial arts with than Dwight Werner from Monroe Martial Arts. And Dwight, welcome to the show. Welcome to our town.
Hi, Jeff. Thank you very much.
So tell me, how long have you been involved in martial arts?
Well, I've been teaching martial arts about 30 years.
Okay.
And I've only been involved in it about a year or two before that.
You know, I got to tell you, so before we came on the show, I was doing a little bit of research myself, and one of the things that I noticed was there was if you don't know, my day job is a prosecuting attorney, and so I've done delinquency work. My wife is a teacher at Custer in Monroe, and so one of the big problems in America right now is the whole bullying thing. Okay, and so I was reviewing as I was doing some research today. I found this doctoral dissertation that was done in 2012 at Arizona State University, and the thesis was, and the findings were, that martial arts actually helps to improve or decrease the amount of bullying, not only from the person that's being bullied, but also it prevents people from becoming bullies. And I think what's interesting to me is that that's kind of how you started out in martial arts, isn't it?
That's exactly how I started out. When I grew up, I was constantly getting bullied. We moved to many different schools. I was always a new kid, and my parents couldn't afford martial arts. So my uncle, who was a hand-to-hand combat instructor in the Army, showed me a couple moves. Mm-hmm. And so I got in a lot of fights. But it wasn't because I was brave. It was because I was afraid. I didn't have any self-esteem. I didn't get the real benefit of the confidence and the discipline. And I got in trouble with the law even over stuff like that. So when I became a parent and my son started getting bullied, and he was 8 years old, and he got picked on by a 13-year-old, and I went and talked to the kid's dad, and he was like a big old hairy biker, and he basically told me to get lost, and I knew that if I hit the guy, I'd go to jail again. Right. So I said, I got to do something. So I ended up enrolling my son in martial arts and my daughter, and when I took my daughter, she was only 6, and we get there, and she goes, "Daddy, where's the pool?" So she had been in swimming lessons, so she had been in guppies and sharks, and she thought karate was another level. Yeah. So I was going to sign my son up, and then the instructor asked me if I would like to try it, and I thought I was too old. I was like 28 years old, and
it's ancient.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was,
I know.
But I seen another gentleman about my age in there, so I did try it, and I liked it, and I actually had a talent for it, and my children liked it. So after I got my black belt about 3 years later, the instructor asked, he couldn't teach the school anymore. This is up in Ypsilanti, run. And he asked me if I would take it over, and I did. And that's how I got into the instructing part of it.
That's fascinating. And here's what I'd like to see. We always hear these things as a lawyer and as a prosecutor. One of the things that I'm always we have these problems with bullying. What do we do? Well, put the kids in counseling. And what we end up doing is we end up we're really punishing. Oftentimes, we're punishing the kid that's getting bullied because they react. They react and do something. Wouldn't it be great if we could use something like martial arts and use it? In my opinion, it ought to be incorporated right into the curriculum of schools. If they really, really, really were serious about ending bullying, it's because, and that's what I want to get into with you, because at your school, it's a family-oriented place, right?
Yes, sir.
And you've got kids from very young to very old that are involved, that are learning from you guys, right?
Yeah, our youngest, we start them sometimes as young as 3. Basically, at that time, they're learning how to follow directions and more like verbal and mental self-defense. What to say if a a stranger comes up to you or a bully
Right.
tries to pick on you or something
Right.
like that.
Well, exactly. And that's what I wanted to talk about, because a lot of people, I think, have the wrong impression about, because people would say to me, what a brilliant idea. You want to teach some kids how to fight, and that you think that's going to help bullying. But it's not that, is it? You guys don't focus on that. In fact, the first thing, the first line of defense is what?
Well, we don't want to be aggressive. We teach children to be, we play a game. We call it Super Kid, Shy Kid, Super Kid. So really a bully does not know. They're like, people are animals. And if you look at the animals in the jungle, they don't pick the strongest prey. They look for the weak or the sick.
Yeah.
So bullies are usually looking for a reaction. They don't want to fight either. So if you get a kid that looks like he's shy or scared, they draw that kind of attention. So we have the kids, they play the game Shy Kid, where they like look down at the ground and say
Right.
Super Kid. Now the bully can't tell by looking at you if you're scared or not. So if you act like you're confident, not aggressive,
Right.
assertive. And so that's what we try to teach. I am currently talking with the Monroe schools about getting a program in there.
Are you really?
They'd asked about an after-school program.
That's a great idea. See, that's why I'm really glad you're on the show, because I think it's the type of thing that I'd love to work in conjunction with you guys, because obviously, we talk to the schools all the time, but I think that's a great way to help minimize those issues, because we know how terrible they can be, and the potential consequences of bullying in schools. But so that's how you kind of got involved. But now you are, and you've been doing this now for quite some time. I won't say exactly how long, but you're a 5th degree black belt now, right?
Yes, sir.
And let me ask you a little bit about martial arts, because I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I know a little bit. I don't know a ton. Now, people think when martial arts, they think of karate, they think of taekwondo, jiu-jitsu, stuff like that. Tell me, what is it that you guys instruct at your school, and what are the advantages of it, and how is it different than some of the other disciplines?
Yeah, a common misconception is that we teach fighting, and really we don't. We teach self-defense. And not just punching and kicking. We teach verbal self-defense, mental self-defense, how to talk your way out of a situation, how to use your mind to avoid it in the first place or think your way out of it. Of course, we show the physical, tools, the parts of the body that are naturally weapons, and the weaknesses that you can attack. Not to beat anybody up, but just to escape. Now, what makes us different from many schools is we're not sport-orientated. And we incorporate, although our techniques are very modern, my certification, my 5th degree black belt, is in a style called Choi Kwando, which is it's developed by a gentleman named Kwang Choi, and it's all practical street self-defense. And he studied many, many activities that the idea was to hit something hard, like baseball or golf or tennis or even cracking a whip. And they have some things in common that many martial arts don't have in common. Sports can be good. We personally don't like to do it because our job is to raise self-esteem. And the winner feels good, the loser feels bad, right? And most martial arts, any martial art that I've ever seen really, and we've done them all, they eliminate the most practical techniques for safety, right?
Right.
For instance, Taekwondo, in their tournaments, they don't allow punching to the head, they don't allow kicking to the waist or below the waist, they don't allow any grappling techniques, anything like that. Even now we have some very good schools in Monroe. I've been the longest, and I've seen a lot of come and go, but I think we got a couple good ones in here now. But their main focus, as far as I understand, is more for tournament style, for stuff. And you do get fit, and you do get a lot of benefits from it. But we do not want to fight. We avoid that stuff. We also teach community service, to give back to the community.
Right. Yeah. We want to talk a little bit about that, because how do you guys go about that? Because there's a pretty specific way that your students end up giving back to the community.
Well,
your instructors too, right?
Yes, everybody. But before you get your black belt, there's a couple things you have to do. First of all, you have to learn all of our curriculum. All of our punches and kicks and patterns and speed drills and weapons defenses, all that. But also you have to do a project-based leadership training. We call it a project, where you pick a project. It has to be something that I prefer if it helps the local community, and you have to be in charge of it. You have to have people that you assign tasks, and then you complete it, and then you do a report on it. And we've had some over the years some very wonderful people that have given back to the community in a big way.
Yeah, give me an example. One of the things that really sticks out for you.
Yeah, for instance, we had a couple guys that solicited some funds from some corporations, and they raised quite a bit of money, and over $10,000. And they went and they bought coats from Macy's and Dillard's and really high-end coats, but they got them real cheap. They got them for like $10.
Yeah.
And they had like 250 coats. And we gave them away. We put a thing in the paper, and we gave them all away in one day. And so that type of thing we really try to instill because, I've studied this for a long time, and most people, I want them to get something more out of the martial arts than just punching and kicking. Most people aren't going to die from a street fight. Let's face it. So I studied the things that actually do kill people: heart disease, cancers, respiratory things, diabetes, Alzheimer's. And a lot of them things can be prevented or the risk eliminated or reduced anyway with lifestyle.
Yeah.
So we tell our kids not to smoke cigarettes, not to drink alcohol to excess, watch what you eat. It's all, a healthy lifestyle. And that's the things we do there that I think make us a little bit different than a traditional martial arts school that many people think. I don't think many people know what we do.
Yeah. And if you want to find out what you do, you go to MonroeMartialArts.com, right? And then you've got a YouTube page as well, right?
Yeah, we have some stuff on YouTube too.
Let's talk about some of the more interesting stuff that you have on YouTube, because in addition to instructing, you're also a film star, right? Tell us about you got to tell people, because if they go onto your YouTube page, they're going to find it, right? And they know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something you did with National Geographic, right? Yes. Tell the folks about that. Whet their appetites, please, because this is really cool.
Well, first of all, make sure that it's a mature audience, because there's some things on there that I wouldn't want young children to see. But I think it was about maybe 5 or 6, maybe 7 years ago, I got an email from National Geographic saying they were looking for people to go on a reality show. Mm-hmm. And what they were looking for were people that had specific illnesses that modern medicine couldn't do much with. So, for instance, I have a couple things. I have chronic back pain. I broke my back. I got some disc problems, some arthritis, things like that. And so they asked me and they were looking, they had looked for boxers and martial artists and people that could actually do some of these treatments, because they're going to send them around the world to different countries. And so they sent 2 people to Peru, 2 people to Hong Kong, 2 people to India, and then me and a young lady went to Cameroon. And when we get over there, what they were going to do is traditional stuff. So one of my treatments was they sacrificed a goat, and then we had to take a bath in its blood, and then we had to cook it and eat it.
Nice.
Yeah. Another one for the girl, she was...
Now, did you have to actually sacrifice the goat yourself, or did somebody do that for you, or how did...
Dr. Alfred did it. He was the witch doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it was actually pretty upsetting to watch. I mean, I do eat meat and stuff, but it was to be that involved. It was a little upsetting. One of the things they did with the girl was she had anxiety. They buried her alive.
Oh my God!
And when they did, we were out in the jungle, but somebody seen it and they thought they were killing her. So they called the police.
Oh my God.
And the next thing you know, we got like 20 guys around us with submachine guns screaming at us in French, and none of us speak French. And the director had told us to leave our passports back because they would kill you in Cameroon for your passport, right?
Oh,
so none of us had passports. So they arrested us and took us to jail.
Oh my God.
And and then so somebody called the American Embassy, and the American Embassy came down and said, well, there's no Americans here. So we got a little nervous, but the director was from the UK, so they called their embassy, and they came and they got us out. And
did you get paid extra for that part? Because you should have. That's crazy.
No. And another thing that happened, we had to drive like 10 hours into the jungle, and then we walked for like 4 or 5 more hours. And they didn't want to tell you what was going to happen ahead of time. They wanted your reaction, right? So we get out there, and then we come upon a tribe of pygmies. And they do their so they do their special dance and stuff. And one of their things they did was they prayed to the forest god of Makora. It's a secret dance. They don't want us to see it, so they put us in a hut. They couldn't watch it. Well, they have these guys called fixers that kind of do things. Well, the fixer walked through their dance, and they got really mad, and they wanted to kill him. And but then they decided they wouldn't kill him, but they would cleanse him. But they had to cleanse me too. So,
Great.
So the cleansing, what it was they just take you out in the middle of the jungle. They pound on these stumps, making these like drum beat, and they blindfold you. They tell you if you look, you could be blinded. And really, all they did was spin you around and then punch in, kick you a little bit, not real hard, and then run through your legs, and that's how they cleansed you. But then they demanded 200,000 francs, or they weren't going to let us go. Well, the directors were supposed to bring them like some chicken, like to pay in their payment. So they brought them fish. Well, made them mad, right? Because they can get fish, but they can't get chicken. But they brought them a bunch of gin, so they got really, really drunk. Oh. And then so they were going to keep us. They weren't going to let us go until we gave them 200,000 francs, which I really don't know how much that is, but it's only a few $100. Yeah. But they didn't have it. So we ended up, I said, look, what are they going to do? Let's just leave. And we left. But we did go back later, and they apologized and were sorry. But
and hung over.
But it was very interesting, and it really makes you appreciate United States.
Yeah.
When you come here. Some of the other two people went to Peru. They had to do ayahuasca, and 2 people went to India. They had to do like
ayahuasca. What's that?
It's a vine where it's like hallucinogenic, where you take it, then you vomit, then you have some kind of psychedelic experience.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And the ones in India had to do like enemas and drink a gallon of water, all kinds of crazy stuff. They had to drink a mixture made out of cow dung and honey and cow urine. Over in China, they had to do, they did cupping, tongue acupuncture, and then they made them drink wine made out of 3 different kinds of animal penis.
So you got the easy part.
Yeah, I got the easy one,
You only got arrested and nearly killed by pygmies.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, one of the things was they had to cut me. They cut me like 10 times in each joint with a razor blade and smeared in a mixture they made. They had to make it out of bones of lions, giraffe, and ostrich, and then some devil claw, some other herbs and roots and stuff they found in the jungle.
Well, Dwight, I got to ask: is your back better?
Well, it didn't really help. I mean,
really.
But I what helped more than anything else was yoga.
Yeah.
I mean, when I come back here, I started studying yoga and became a certified teacher. And
you guys do yoga?
Yep, we do yoga.
Arts,
we do Irish stick
arts
fighting.
too.
We do Tai Chi. Our style is called Kaizen, and it means good change or continuous improvement. And it's a combination of styles. Of course, we teach the Choi Kwan Do, but we teach elements of boxing, wrestling, judo, jiu-jitsu, Krav Maga, weapons defenses, like I said, Irish stick fighting, and many things like that. It's a little different than a lot of styles because we don't just stick with one style.
So, Dwight, if you want to take classes and become a black belt, first of all, how long would it take? How long does it take to become a black belt?
Every person's a little bit different. The soonest you can do it would be we call it a Bodon black belt, which is a probationary 3 years.
Okay. But
for instance, 2 of my kids took 8 years.
Yeah.
Because I as their instructor and as their father, I seen they weren't practicing at home enough. So, it's not easy, and it takes a big commitment and time. It starts off pretty easy, but in the end, it's a lot of hard work. And really, I think only like worldwide, like 1 out of 10,000 people that starts martial arts actually goes to the first-degree black belt.
Really. All right. So if I want to get involved, how do I get in touch with you?
Well, our website, MonroeMartialArts.com, our Facebook page, and what we generally do with new people is we give them a couple private lessons first to show them around. We also do, like for kids, we do parkour. We build a rock wall and a rope and things for them to do. So for people that aren't really interested in doing for belts, we have what's called a fitness ticket, where you buy like 10 classes for $100. And you can try, you can't really try the martial art, the belt part of the martial arts.
Right.
But you can do the Irish stick fighting or the yoga or the Tai Chi.
Okay. So where are you guys located?
We're located on La Pleasance Road, in back of the fireworks place, right by the highway.
Gotcha.
I've been in Monroe since, I think 91, and I've moved like 6 times.
Yeah, I remember you guys were over at the at the Masonic Temple or something like that.
Yep, we were there
Masonic
for quite
Hall,
a while.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. So now you're over on La Pleasance,
Yep.
right?
Yes, sir.
And if you want to give you a ring, you want to give you a call like the old-fashioned way, you got a phone number?
Yep, 734-828-4668.
One more time.
734-828-4668.
All right. Hey, Dwight, that's all the time we have for this edition of This Is Our Town, but I know that there is a lot more to talk with you about. So you are more than welcome to come on the show anytime you'd like. Well, we'd love to have you. There's a lot more to martial arts than we've just really kind of scratched the surface here today, haven't we?
Yeah. And, if anybody wants to mention that they heard about this on your radio show, we will give them a month free.
Sounds great.
Yep.
All right. Perfect. Love it. Dwight Warner, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on the show. It's been great. Unfortunately, it is all the time we have. So until next time, I want to thank everybody for listening. Take care, everybody. See you next week.
Join us every Sunday at noon and Tuesday at 7 p.m. for another edition of This Is Our Town with Jeff Yorkie, a local public affairs presentation of MonroeCountyRadio.com.
This is our town, the place we call home.